We are going to talk about the Bills Dolphins game in which Tua suffered another concussion, and
Yeah.
it's kind of this weird. I know you went live after the game. It was this weird like the game before Tua got hurt was not going well. I mean the Dolphins were
Well, yeah.
getting they were getting spanked, and I was like, you know what? Like people were asking, like, you do reaction videos? Like honestly, I'm probably not because it's just not a good game. And then Tua got hurt, and I was like, well, I'm definitely not doing a reaction video because it's different than like a leg injury or something like that. You're like,
Yeah.
hey, this could potentially be
Sure.
really, really significant.
I respect. You've got a line and you won't cross it, and I respect that because I thought you were about to say as soon as he got hurt, I was like, I'm definitely doing a reaction video.
No.
I was like, that'd be a change up for Tom, but no.
But I have to be honest though, like this is not the first time that I've seen Tua, and I'm streaming, his hands lock up, he has a big head injury. And I was like, dude, it's rough every freaking time, man. Like when you start talking, and especially for Tua, where there's a history that he's had concussions, he's had head injuries, like that stuff gets scary real quick. You see him carted off. Was that last year or 2 years ago at this point?
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years ago. And yeah, we're talking about, the question is about retirement and stuff like that. I don't know. And Mike McDaniels doesn't know. He's like, I don't want to put a timetable on it because that's going to create anxiety. They're going to rock with Skylar Thompson. They're going to sign a QB for depth. But yeah, I mean, he would make like what, $93 million if he did leave. And I have to imagine
there's some weird caveats there. I can bring up the tweet about that.
Please God, no.
One, I think these quarterback injuries are getting out of hand. Their teams are losing games. What'd I say Jordan Love do? Got an injury on purpose so people wouldn't talk about the fact that the Packers are about to lose. Tua gets an injury, so nobody's going to talk about the fact that the Dolphins are going to lose, Tom. It's a bad trend, and it needs to be stopped. It needs to be stopped.
Okay, so explain to me JJ McCarthy.
He was not part of this trend.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
actually, he knew the
trendsetters.
He knew the Vikings were they're gonna lose week 18. So he just got in there early.
Okay.
Yeah. But he didn't get hurt in the fourth quarter. I'm just saying.
That's a conspiracy.
You guys are getting hurt on purpose. Yes.
Okay. So
we needed to deflect from how serious this is. That's my take.
Yeah, I get you. Hey, Friday 13th, baby.
Let me here. I saw the thing about the money, right? Because it was, I think it was Spot Track. Let me find that.
I think it might have been, yeah.
Okay. I also feel bad for Bills fans because Bills fans and Dolphins fans hate each other. They have a very good rivalry.
Sure.
And I think a lot of that rivalry really built while, the Patriots were just winning that division. And everybody knew they couldn't really compete with the Patriots. So Bills and Dolphins fans were like, you know what? I hate you. And after a game like this, Bills fans can't talk shit to the Dolphins because it would be mean. It would be rude considering, we don't know what's going on with Tua. So Bills fans had their shit talking rights taken away as well. And I know Bills fans will remain classy because they're the classiest group of fans out there.
Yeah, there's already like the Tua Foundation, like that link was going around last night. And again, we're not going to speculate in terms of like, oh, is this it? But like, I think that there is a conversation that's going to be had. And I think it's just the amount of head injuries that have occurred. And the Dolphins are in an awful spot, right? Like, because it's this, hey, you care about the person and Tua. And that's the most important thing, that he's okay, he's healthy, and he's going to be all right long term. And then there's the financial, like football operations aspect of like, hey, we just gave Tua a lot of money. And now it's like, oh man, like we gotta see like what the hell are we gonna do? It's week 2.
Yeah.
We have Skylar Thompson in here. It's all right. So here you go. Medically returned ops to retire. He'll forego the remaining 124. But if he's medically forced to retirement, he could collect. Well, real quick to this point, Dave Bakhtiari, for example, is getting paid by the Packers because like he's still out on injury. So like he's taking money from the Packers. I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. But here, Tua, if he has to retire, if it's the worst case scenario, he could go after the money. And I would hope that the Dolphins would be like, even if it's not the full 124 or anything, if it's like, hey, here's some money, you're set up for life.
I guarantee you he will not be medically forced to retire by the NFL. There's like no way the NFL is going to put the Dolphins in a position where they got to pay out $124 million. I just don't believe that. If that situation would happen, he could make. And he's been paid $43 million in 2024. If Tua is able to pass a physical next March, the Dolphins will have the ability to release him with only his $50 million of 2025 on the hook. So he should be okay financially, kind of no matter how that shakes out. Which is why, like, every time contracts come up, we focus on the guaranteed money, right? Yes. And the money guys are going to make, and it's why like so many contracts they're backloaded. There's all this fake money in there that could be taken away in situations kind of like this one. But when we talked about it live after the game, because everybody has got an idea about what Tua should do or whatever. And I think Will's just like, that's his decision. I don't know why everybody's talking about what, like, and we're not doctors. Let him go through that process. Let him seek those opinions from concussion experts and just let him figure it out. We know head injuries are very serious. We all know that by now. It sucks. And it sucks because we've seen it happen to Tua. It happens to other guys too. And like they don't get this attention, right? It's not a unique thing to Tua necessarily. It's because he plays quarterback and because of the way we've seen these happen to him. So it's and it's this thing too, because while I'm streaming the game and he's rushing for it on 4th down, I'm yelling slide. Sure.
Right? Like it's again, we're not doing victim blaming, none of this stuff. It's a matter of like, you see a lot. I talked about this last night. You see a lot of young QBs come into the league and they're like, hey, I'm 20 years old. I can take a hit. Like, it's totally fine. Right. And they'll go and they'll take these big hits. They won't slide and their coaches will yell at them to slide and all this great stuff. Tua just got paid. My man, and this has nothing to do with it. He just needs to slide for him. Yeah. Right. And this is why you see, as usually QBs progress throughout their career, they become a lot more conscientious about their health. And they're like, okay, I need to make sure I protect myself. Yeah. And it's a freak thing, right? I'm not blaming anybody. It's one hit that you get hit the wrong way. It was Damar Hamlin on the other side of that too. And it just, you deal with what you did last night. And it's tough, man.
Some of the Damar Hamlin memes about this hit out there have been very humorous. Not appropriate per se, but very funny. And that's the thing. Like, I think we were all like, damn, he should have slid, and he should have. But also, I saw JJ Watt tweet, like, people forget the yellow line's not on the field.
Correct.
Tua doesn't know exactly where that first down marker is. He's trying to make a play for his team. It's late in the game. It's a 4th down. So I agree. Actually, to retire, Kevin, I think I need 30,000 signups. So I need to live.
Would that be like 3 mil? I guess
probably. Yeah. But like we do forget that it's you kind of have an idea where that first down line is, but you're making a split-second decision. But I think, like, to your point, I used to watch Peyton Manning take self-sacks basically in the pocket to avoid contact. Like, he knows when the play's over, guys coming, he just falls down, right? You'd see Tom Brady kind of do the same thing, and it's about preserving your longevity on the field. And I think the fact that, like, Tua, people wanted him to retire 2 years ago on that second concussion. He came back. He wanted to play. He said his family kind of wanted him to retire, but he's a competitor. I think he will probably be back. I think he wants to keep playing, and it's about making sure, he doesn't put himself in a situation to do this again. But you can't know that. Like,
sure.
This play was a weird one too. It was a weird play. The way it happened, it's just like there's no way to take it out of the game. And the NFL has tried very hard to limit how often and frequent concussions happen. But bottom line, it's a violent game. Shit can happen on the weirdest plays.
Look at how Tua's gotten some of his other concussions too, right? He's gotten sacked and his head just hits the ground, right? What are you going to do about that? You can't regulate that. It's the ground. So I agree. Yeah, there's things that can be done to try and make the game safer. People were talking about guardian caps yesterday and wearing those. But again, there's only so much you could do when you have 300-pound, people slamming into each other at full speed.